Coach, kind of the same thing I said to players. This seemed like if ever there was a team win, this was a really good team win. A lot of people contributed. I think you had 21 assists on 29 field goals, and 3 of your field goals were putbacks, so really 21 of 26 if you want to go that way. You shared the ball. Everybody kind of got involved offensively. Everybody was involved defensively. Just how you felt this game went from that standpoint?
Well, the two things, what you said at the end is the most important. Everybody was involved defensively. That's the most important. And they made several good plays on reading passes and going and getting steals. And then Jalen Foster and Gabby McBride and Torrey Hunter and Selma Kulo were big on the boards. They went after balls. I think Gabby had 5 rebounds in 10 minutes of play. So that's a 20-rebound game. And that's the kind of effort that we need, and they were focused on going after those balls, and so that's really where it starts. I think, Lillian, we did have 21 assists the last game. I think we had 21 steals, 19 assists. Yeah. We had 19 assists last game, and so we shared the ball. And we work on that in practice, and it's an unselfish bunch. If anything, there's times I have to tell them, you have to look to score because they'll look for the next pass, and that's a positive thing. That's going to pay dividends down the road. But right now, the fact that they're all involved in the defensive end, communicating, playing hard, and trying to get out in transition, we're pretty hard to stop when we get in transition. We're pretty good at that, and so that wears on. It wore on FAU, I think, today. I think in the first quarter they were pretty good at getting back. Second quarter, not quite as good. By the time we got to third quarter, it was harder. It was harder, and so I was real proud of how we were getting that initiated with solid defense and rebounding and getting the ball out.
Coach, yesterday you told me, I asked you about what do you think of Miro and Maya. You said it's not just about the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at today, how much of a full, complete team effort did it feel like? I guess especially compared to like the other wins in your now 8-game win series.
Well, everybody needs confidence and everybody needs minutes, and if we played, not in practice, but there's times where we do play longer than 40 minutes, and so there are enough minutes. So in this one, we're competing for those minutes, and in games like this, then it's good because everybody gets an opportunity to get some run and get some confidence and get comfortable on the court. And as this young group, as they get more and more of these opportunities, and they'll get more comfortable in shorter spans of time. And so, and that will be huge down the road. It is a team win. They compete every day in practice. Maya, what did Miru have today? 10 points. Maya had 12, and they were cheering as loudly as anybody on the bench for Jordan. And Teresa Faustino was huge today. She had 4 assists at halftime, had several good steals, made some good drives. I mean, she made some really good plays. And I hear Miru and Maya and Macy, and I hear those young ladies over there cheering just as loudly for their teammates as they would be for themselves for having a big game. So it is a team win, and that's what makes this team special. Is they compete together, they work together, they hang out together, and they win together.
Seemed to be an effort early to kind of get the ball in the post, maybe get the post going to kind of open things up for what you were able to do from 3. Was that kind of the game plan there early? Because it looked like that's kind of what you guys were trying to do.
Yeah, if you want to say it, that's fine. We'll call that the game plan. Actually, we can hit the 3. We got a lot of players that can hit the 3, and you've got to get out there and guard it. And so that opens the post up sometimes, and that makes it makes it a little tougher to guard some of those players on the inside. And so we want to play inside and outside, and we want to play in transition. And so the main thing, the game plan honestly was guard. That's a good team. And they got all juniors and seniors. They're experienced. They're gifted offensively. They got several shooters out there that can really fill it up. And so the game plan was make sure you guard and rebound. And I was proud of how they did that really after the first quarter. We did okay in the first quarter, not great, but second, third, and fourth quarter, I think we guarded fairly well.
It seemed like Selma was really a big spark there too in the second. I think she had 4 buckets in a row.
Yes.
For you guys, and you took the lead for good there.
Well, we told her she had a good dump off, and she missed a layup in the first half, and I told her halftime, I don't care that you missed a layup. I care that you didn't get the rebound and put it back in. And so we tease Coach Ivy Brown about that's how she got 1,000 rebounds. I said, you got to miss something, grab it, and put it back in so you run your rebounds up. And so we were teasing her about it. I said the focus isn't the shot. The focus is you keep playing. And so if you miss it, you get it back and you stick it back in. And so I think they gave her maybe a little bit of confidence, maybe a green light to go to work in the second half. And yeah, she did well.
The one thing I asked the girls after the game is, with this 8-game win streak, with being undefeated in conference play, there's still so much more basketball to play.
Mm-hmm.
There's still much more learning to do, as they attested to. But for you, how much higher can the ceiling get, and should the ceiling get for this team, down the stretch?
Yeah, we're trying to play one-game streaks. That's what we're trying to do, is keep focused on one-game streaks. And we've got a lot of great teams in this conference. We've played some good ones, and we're going to play some even better ones coming up. And so we got another big game against FIU on Saturday. They had a big win last weekend. And so I think anybody in this conference is capable of beating anybody else. And even though FAU hasn't won a game, they're just as capable of beating anybody in this conference as anybody else is. And so we're trying to keep focused on one-game streaks. And how good can this team be? I don't want to put a tag or a ceiling on it. I have some ideas of what those numbers might look like, but I'm not going to put a ceiling on it, what they can win or what they can't win. Right now, we're just trying to play one-game streaks.
All right, and like you said earlier, Teresa Faustino, she had a good game. St. Tulo had a stretch where I think she scored like 8 straight points. As a coach, how does that make you feel when you see players who don't necessarily play all the time or don't play well all the time? How does that make you feel as a coach when you see them get their confidence?
It makes you feel, obviously it makes you feel good. And in my mind, it's more like, I think, finally. There we go. Because I see this in practice. I see Teresa do these things in practice every day. I see Selma do these things in practice every day. So I know they're capable of doing that. It's just the fans, and sometimes you guys haven't seen them do that. So when that finally happens, Jordan Smith makes these plays. She's improved her three-point shooting tremendously in the offseason. So I know she can make that three that she hesitated on. And so I'm not surprised when they do that. It's more of for me as a coach, it's more of a sigh of relief, because now I know that they'll have that confidence to do that in a game again the next time. And so they work hard. They work hard individually, they work hard in practice. And so I'm thrilled for them to do that, but I know they can do that. And they can do more than that.
And I think the Owls scored 6 points in the second quarter after totaling about 20, 30 in the first half. Was there anything that you said to your team in halftime to get them going?
After the first quarter, stop fouling. Because they had 8 points from the free throw line in the first quarter. And then they hit 2 threes. They hit 3 threes in the first quarter that were over post players. So, I mean,